Hello there, I'm Artistic Gamer 7, and welcome back to my D&D group mansion build thing that I have going on right now. If you have not watched the beginning of this build, part 1, this is like part 5, I think. If you have not watched part 1 or the previous parts before this, there is a link down in the description below for you to go and click and actually go and watch the previous videos. Part 1 is especially important so that you sort of know why this is going to be split into so many parts, why it's like a series versus just one speed build. And I go into a lot of details about all that stuff, so definitely go check that out if you have not already. If you have watched up all the parts leading up to this point, hello, welcome back. Let's continue on this lovely build. You can also click the link in the description below or at the end of the video if you also think you're behind as well, for those who have watched up to this point. Just enough FYI, you know, I have like the little thing at the end as well as down in the description below for those options. But yeah, let's continue on. And I am continuing here, right where we left off, with bathrooms. So, as I was saying in the last part, I ended up decorating a lot of the bathrooms all together. I eventually stopped doing that. One, because there was something else that I was thinking of that I ended up doing and started working on. But two, even when I stopped working on the bathrooms for a while because I hadn't had like a huge break from working from one bathroom to the next bathroom, I got really tired of bathrooms. So yeah, but yeah, I work on like a bunch of the bathrooms all together. This house is gonna have loads of people in it. When it comes to the overall build, you'll actually see it in this part. I was actually talking about there's like some other things that I ended up adding or doing to this build that I wasn't originally planning, and I was like, I'll talk about that more in detail later on. That actually is going to show up partially through this video. And I actually add a third level. Part of me didn't want to add a third level because I didn't think it would make sense to my whole hot springs thing that's in a basement, which already doesn't make full sense. But in my head, you know, this does have fantasy feels going on to it because it is connected to my D&D characters. D&D is a highly fantasy game. There are obviously some versions that people have made stories of D&D that aren't fully fantasy, but almost no matter what, it's at least somewhat fantasy. Whether it's like your old school fantasy or futuristic fantasy, it's still got some fantasy in it. I mean, just the classes alone, or not the classes, the races that you can choose from, automatically makes that very obvious that it leans on the fantasy side. So, technically this build doesn't have to make complete sense. But we're still going with the fact that there is like a waterway building up to the certain point, and when they were building out this house to put this giant house on and like just toss people in it and see what happens, aka me, in a way, found this hot springs area, and they built around the basically where the water was going up to. So the third level, there's like a big middle section that I don't do anything with, and that's to continue on with the illusion that there is hot water going up that path and up to the hot springs. So I don't use that middle section down in the third floor. But the reason why I added a third floor was, like I've been talking, I want to actually use dice and roll them in the morning for these characters, and depending on the roll, depends on what areas they get to go to in the house. Now, other than the fact that I think when they roll in at one, they're basically going to be stuck in their house, and I'll allow Sims to, like, bring them food, or, like, move food up there for them manually myself, so that they can at least eat. Other than that, an at one will restrict them to just their room, and they won't get to go out to other people, they won't get to socialize, nothing, like, because an at one's supposed to be the worst option. If they have to pee really bad, I'll let them out to go pee, and then they have to go right back into their room. So they will not have access to the kitchen or any of that other stuff. Nothing. But for the most part, I can't fully restrict the kitchen, so I can't count that as really one of the rooms, because otherwise that's just That's real bad if I restrict the kitchen completely. I feel like the Nat 1 is going to be the only circumstance where I restrict the kitchen. But other than that, there wasn't going to be a whole lot of rooms to restrict them from, because there's the living room, there's the extra room, which I think I was originally going to make a study, but now I'm going to make it into something else. I don't know what just yet. But I potentially a music room that has like a piano and stuff in it, maybe. But yeah, there was that room which was going to be a study, the kitchen, the dining room, the hot springs, the gym, and the laundry room. And then the outside area. Those were the main, like, extra rooms that I could sort of lock them out of. And I was like, that doesn't give me a whole lot of options, and, you know, a D20 has 20 numbers on it. So I did want to add a few more rooms, plus at least 2 of my characters that I know are for surely going to be in this house are merfolk in D&D. Therefore, I am going to be making them mermaids. So, the fact that they're, like, you know, there's nowhere for them to swim inside the house every once in a while seems a little cruel. So I did add a pool to the lower half, so I added a few extra rooms that I could sort of lock them out of. I also added more rooms that could be bedrooms, because I mentioned, I think by the time it was already part 2, that since then I actually ended up creating quite a few more characters in my head, and I've already been drawing them. So, therefore, I have more characters than when I first started building this, and I had a feeling I might, which is why I made 2 extra rooms on the lowest, what was the lowest basement floor, but now that doesn't accompany all the ones that I have made. Now, mind you, I'm still probably not going to put every single character that I have created into this house, because I think even with the rooms I added on downstairs, like bedroom-wise, still will not fit all the characters that I've came up with. But that being said, I don't have all those characters drawn, so I will probably, by the time it gets to the point to create the characters and actually add them in here, which I've been working on creating them already. I'm actually, like, working on the, like, 11th character, I think, for the cast series, which should already be going on. Yeah, it would already be going on by the time you're seeing this part. So, yeah, by now you will be seeing all those characters as the point of this voiceover. I've got, I think I have 11 of them created, I believe, and I'm working on the 12th one. I'm actually about to record that creation video right after this. But yeah, so, considering the timeline I have to create them, I'm probably just gonna go with them in order of me creating them in my head and drawing them out and stuff like that, because I probably will not get all of them that I have written little things about down, because I wrote the information about them down, then I started drawing them, so I'm probably not going to create all of them, and they're not all going to go into this house. But yeah, there's still some extra bedrooms down there, so more characters to cause chaos, potentially, see what happens. I figure the more characters that are in this house, the more people they can interact with, the more craziness is going to happen, and the more likely something interesting will be happening at pretty much most of the moments that I record. Figured it wouldn't hurt to add a few more characters in that, but with a few more characters means more bathrooms. So there is more bathrooms on the next level of the basement floor, as well as quite a few of them up here. So there's a lot of bathrooms that I've been working on, and I still don't have all the bathrooms done, because I still have some of the upstairs bathrooms to work on, because as the point of this voiceover, I haven't got to the 2 upstairs at all, other than to put the flooring in those bathrooms and the hallway. Other than that, I think I'm working on the kitchen right now. Yeah, I'm working on the kitchen right now. So I'm on the main floor. I'm basically going to be working my way up. I'm leaving all the bedrooms to last. So obviously there's still the bedrooms that are in the basement floors. But other than that, every other room on the basement floors is done to this point. And I'm working on the main floor. You won't get to see that in this video. You won't get to see it to that point just yet. But you'll get to see the creation of the new basement level, as well as the beginning of what is the pool, like the very, very beginning. Basically just creating the outline of the pool. And then the next video will actually start decorating the room that is in the pool, which I had a lot of fun with, but also wasn't sure originally which direction to take it in, because the fact that it is indoors, it's an indoors pool, and it was underground, I was like, I don't know, I don't know what I want to go with, but then I just went with what I felt was the way, like, just felt in my heart, I guess, is the way I wanted to take it. But, that's for next video. This video is bathrooms. I've already mentioned that already. So many bathrooms. And the fact that I decided that I wanted to make each of these bathrooms different, part of me really hates myself for that. But the other part of me is okay with it and likes it, because at least, like, you know, every time someone goes into... There is, like, 20-some bathrooms in this house. If we follow one in particular person, or we're checking up on these people and they're randomly, like, in the bathroom, because, you know, Sims are weird. Sims will have full-on normal conversations standing in a singular bathroom. Not like, you know, a public bathroom where a lot of times, especially, you know, it's like a common thing for females, apparently, especially, for just to stand in the bathroom and talk outside the stalls while washing your hands and stuff like that. Yeah, no, this is regular bathroom, and they're just regular, just one person bathroom, and all the Sims congregate in it and talk in it. Yeah, Sims will do that, so I was thinking about that. I was like, you know, my Sims are more, there's a chance that all my, like, multiple Sims will end up talking in the bathroom at once, and I don't want every bathroom to be the same so that it's repetitive all the time while viewing. Because I almost want to make this similar to I guess a TV show feel is almost what I'm going for. So, like, I'm just going to mainly be observing them. I'm going to only have some control over certain things. Like, if pop-ups pop up, I'll answer what I think that character will do for that situation. Or, you know, like, now that there's the likes and dislikes, you can sometimes they'll add new likes. And I don't think I've made a single character so far that I gave them all 20 likes immediately, so there is a chance that they'll form new likes or dislikes, so I can answer yes or no on those. And I technically have thought of I remember thinking of, like, special circumstances. I can't remember right now. Of course, you know, my forgetful brain is like that. Not to mention that I've been a little off. Today I've recorded 2 voiceovers and a bunch of the character creations, but hopefully you can't tell that I'm a little off. If I take Tylenol, I seem to be fine for the most part, but I did just have my second COVID shot, and it didn't hit me too hard. It got my boyfriend worse, because we went at the same time to take our shots. It got him worse than it got me, but I still feel a little, every once in a while I feel a little achy, and sometimes get chills, or sometimes get hot, or feel a little loopy, but for the most part, if I, like, take Tylenol and stuff and been taking it easy, I've been fine. So hopefully in these 2 voiceovers I've recorded today, you can't tell. But yeah, my forgetful brain is probably worse right now. But yeah, there was other special circumstances that I thought where I would take small bits of control. But for the most part, I won't really be controlling them too much. Basically observing and seeing what happens, because I think I haven't ever done that with my Sims, and I've seen in past, like, sometimes a few people have done that, and I've also seen, like, challenges that are based off of TV shows and things like that. So part of me's like, I haven't actually watched some of those challenges, but I know they're based off of TV shows, and part of me's like, so, like, do they make it more like the TV show? That'd be interesting. But I'm so behind on watching some people's stuff, like, I need to, and with the Greenhouse season, like, I haven't been able to watch, Katie streams as much, Yellow Plum Bob. I haven't been to watch her streams as much, even though I love watching her streams. I try to catch Smurfette streams when I can. I'm behind on Hip Hip Renee's, why am I forgetting the name of it? It's one of my favorite series to watch, where she builds the houses based off of murder mysteries. What is it? What is it called? Oh, I'm gonna hate myself until I go and look that up. It's called A Brief History. I knew it's had something in history with it, but she takes these builds, and she builds them based off of, like, murder mystery type situations and stuff, and she actually talks about the story. I love that type of stuff. Like, I like Bailey Sarian. I love what her makeup, murder mystery and makeup Mondays, or is it just murder makeup and I don't remember. Anyway, brain not working today. But yeah, I'm behind on hers, I'm behind on Froggy Chronicles, achievement hunting. Like, I'm behind on so much stuff, and not being able to catch certain streams like I usually wanted to. I wanted to start watching Claire Siobhan streams more often, and English Simmer, but like, I've been behind on a lot of stuff. And I actually had a reply to one of Simmer Aaron's tweets about one of English Simmer's series that she's doing right now, which is actually sort of based off a TV show, like The Bachelor type thing. And I've seen it actually on, like, my YouTube stuff, because I'm subscribed to her, and I'm like, oh, that seems like it'd be interesting to watch, and I've wanted to watch it, but I just haven't got to yet. But she says it's real good, so I'm looking forward to when I actually get to watch it, now that the Greenhouse season's basically over, and, like, Greenhouse season makes me feel very iffy and very off for some reason, so, like, I get really slacky, like, almost, I just slack off and stuff, and I'm not as quite as present as I normally would be, so it's not even just that I was busy, it was like half the time I didn't feel like watching stuff. I just ended up watching stuff that I had already watched on repeat, just to have it as background noise, as I just sat on my phone, basically, which is not usually what I do, but now that I'm starting to feel a little bit better, I can get caught up on things, and I'm really looking forward to it, and, so yeah, I'm excited about it. But anyway, yeah, so that's sort of what I'm going for, though, is like the TV show sort of feel, basically. Putting all these people in this house and see how they react. And with the likes and the dislikes now there, I'm really looking forward to that. Because I feel like that's going to add more interesting things and add more interesting reactions to them. Because I can already tell you, as this creation process, some of my Sims have... one Sim will let's use the metal music category in the likes. I have some Sims that don't care, they don't really like or dislike it. I have some Sims that like it, and I have some Sims that dislike it. And I have a few of the likes and dislikes overlapping on different people, and I've just gotten, like I said, like 11 Sims through. So by the time I get through all of them, I know there's going to be a lot of overlap, so that's going to be interesting to watch. Also, I'm going to change their skills, like, give them skills based off certain stuff. Some of them will be good at cooking, some will not, and things like that. And then also some of the relationships, like, some of them in my stories have relationships with some of the other characters. Like, yeah, if I was to ever play them, it would probably be altered a little bit, but if I was to ever DM, that's how they would be, is they would have a relationship with these other Sims, like, they'd be really close friends. I have like 2 couples, technically, and such, and some of them that look at others as, like, mentors and all this stuff, and I will be taking that in and changing their relationship levels once I get them into the house, changing their skills to fit the type of character they are, and all this stuff. So putting all these Sims in there is going to probably be interesting. Also, I am going to have, like I was mentioning, mermaids. I am also going to have some that are vampires. I technically only have one official vampire D&D character, but I have one character who is a, what are they called? I keep wanting to say Revenant, but I don't think that's what it is. I think it does start with an R, but I think Revenant is coming from Code Vein in my head, but maybe not. Maybe it's also, but basically they are people who have died, but they have such a strong mission, they have been granted, basically, more time to live and carry out their resolution, as long as the resolution aligns with something else, some greater being usually. So basically saying they're too stubborn to die just yet. I have one of those, and so I technically in the Sims world have made him a vampire because he technically is undead, and that was the only way to fully give that vibe off. And there's a few other ones, because of what they are, that I might choose to make them one of the occults here or there. So, you know, there's going to be even some occults thrown into the mix. And I think it's just going to be... I'm looking forward to it so much. I hope others will be intrigued by this as well. There's also going to be at least one cat in here. If you've watched my Create a Sim series, it was the very first one. The very first one I created, which is Nita and Zuzu. The story behind that, technically she does have a snow leopard companion, therefore I made her a cat that looks semi like a snow leopard in Sims. So there is also going to be a cat in here, so I got to keep that in mind. That might be one of the things that I make sure to control. If no one is feeding the cat in this house, I'm going to be very annoyed, especially since I think I have 2 of them that have a cat lover trait. If no one feeds this cat, I will step in and make them feed the cat. Like, they're going to feed the cat. So anyway, this video is getting close to the end. I hope that you are liking this build so far. If so, please hit that lovely like button. It helps a lot and it means a lot if you take the time to hit that lovely like button. It lets me know that people are actually enjoying it and looking forward to the future stuff. Make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on the rest of this build, as well as the Create a Sim that sort of is supposed to be tied in with this build, as well as other things here on the channel. Let me know which of the rooms that I have gotten done so far is your favorite, or one that you almost wish that you had in your house, potentially. And I would definitely be also intrigued to know who is, out of the characters, if you've been watching the cast Create a Sim so far, which ones have appeared at this point? Which of the ones are you most excited to see their bedrooms done? I know that I am personally looking forward to this one character named Forsythia's room. And I don't know if her Create a Sim would have showed up by now. Sort of doubtful because she is one of the later on characters, but she's not like too far back here. But I'm actually really looking forward to doing her room. But as out of the Create a Sim characters that have appeared so far, let me know down in the comments who you're looking forward to seeing their bedroom, because I'm going to get super detailed with the bedrooms, or at least that's what I'm planning on doing, because that's sort of why I'm leaving them to last. Because I want to lead up to them. I'm so pumped to work on their bedrooms so badly, but I'm sort of torturing myself also by putting them at the end. But yeah, anyway, keep an eye out for the next part of this series, where I will be working on finishing up the pool area here and heading into the rest of the extra rooms down in the basement, which is like a dance room, a study, a game room, and I think that's it for the extra rooms other than the bathrooms, and then I will start back on bathrooms. Of course, can't get away from the bathrooms. And then we'll be heading up to the entry room and the kitchen area soon after those. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, it means so much to me, so thank you. Thank you so much, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. But until then, bye-bye!